Think about a luxury car manufacturer deciding how many cars to produce and at what price. With market power, they know that producing too many cars will lower prices and profits, while producing too few leaves potential revenue on the table. In this video, we'll explore how firms with market power find the profit maximizing quantity and price by analyzing demand, marginal revenue, and marginal cost.
Now we want to understand how a firm with market power will choose price and quantity to maximize its profits. They're going to use the rational rule for sellers. Right? So they're going to keep on producing as long as marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost, and then stop when marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. Okay? So keep selling until your marginal revenue equals your marginal cost. Remember that the rational rule for sellers tells us to sell one more unit of the item if the marginal revenue is greater than or equal to that marginal cost. Great. So you have a setup like this where you have a firm demand curve that's downward sloping. We have a constant marginal cost at $20,000. We need to draw in a marginal revenue curve. Now the trick to drawing in a marginal revenue curve is you start from that point there where that demand curve crosses the price axis. Find a midpoint between 0 and where the demand crosses the x-axis. Connect those two dots. And there you have your marginal revenue curve, MR. Okay. So if you're going to draw these on your own in your notes or on an exam in your scratch paper, you can just use that midpoint theorem between 0 and demand, draw it there, and you'll be right. So you can trust me on that. This is always going to work. If we had a little bit of calculus, I could go to the math and show you that this is always the case, but that's a little bit out of the realm of this course. But yeah, marginal revenue is always going to fall twice as fast as demand. And so that's why we have this midpoint. Great. So now we're going to apply our rational rule. Keep on producing as long as our marginal revenue is greater than our marginal cost. That difference there is going straight to profits go up, profits go up, profits go up. Stop right there. Profits are maximized. If you go any further, our revenue goes up by less than our costs. And so this is taking away from our profits. So our profit maximizing point will always be found where our marginal revenue crosses our marginal cost. And then we come down here to get our quantity, the Q star for our profit maximizing quantity. And then we want to charge as much as we possibly can, how much the market can bear to sell that quantity Q star. And so to do that, we bring this up to the demand curve that tells us the maximum price we can charge to sell Q star. Come on over, and then we'll get our equilibrium price P star. So let's just say that this is something like $24,000 in price to do that. Okay, great. Profits, we need to have a average cost curve in here. So let's say average costs look like this, our average cost curve. So remember profits, pi for profits, will be price minus average cost times the quantity. So our price will be $24,000 right here. Average cost is right there at that quantity. And so we have a positive per unit profit margin there where price is greater than our average cost. That vertical distance is our per unit profit margin. If we multiply by Q, we'll get our profit box there. So I'm just going to color that in, shade that in with purple. All right, and here's our profit box. And that profit margin times quantity. Great. So there we are. This is the main graph for a monopoly or a firm with market power. A little bit easier than the perfect competition. There is no like short run or long run equilibrium going on here. It's all just boom, boom, find where marginal revenue equals marginal cost right here. And you can do everything from there. Exam type question might be like, here I show you a graph for demand and marginal revenue. I tell you the marginal cost, and you need to tell me what is the profit maximizing price and quantity. All right, so the marginal cost here is going to be $4. One of these is going to be your answers. And so once you pause here and come up with what you might say. Great. Our marginal cost is $4. Let's draw in our marginal cost curve line, like so. We will set our quantity by finding where our marginal revenue crosses our marginal cost. Come on down to get an output of 4. Come up to the demand curve. Come over to the price to get a price of 5. Well, looks like I didn't have any of those answers there. Sorry about that. It should be switched in terms of 4 and 5 there. So we'll have a Q equals 4, and price is going to equal $5 there.